Hey guys, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about my life experience. I'm in a place where I'm trying to learn as much as possible as I can about other marginalized communities. And while I've been exposed to Black communities, Indigenous communities most of my life, I can say that I've had very little to no experience with people of the trans community. So, in the same way that you want me to learn about you, I want you to learn about me. And that's all this is coming from. So, when I was a little girl growing up, I grew up in a time when racism was wide open. Indigenous people were called terrible names on a daily basis. We had candies that were called N blank babies because they were little black licorice. And back then, saying that someone was queer was a slur. And when I was little, I heard these things, but I didn't quite absorb them because I didn't really agree with the way that they were being said. But unfortunately, it's not until you go through school that you start to educate yourself and you start to learn about other cultures and other people, and you start to learn how harmful that rhetoric is. I was the one who stood up and said, we need to change the rhetoric. I was the one in my family that said, please don't speak that way anymore. I find it offensive. Then I became the person who would not only defend, I would actually explain why what they said was terrible and harmful. And then I started researching the community and asking trans people questions. In my small town, I've literally never met a trans person. Well, we know I probably have, I just don't know. So when it comes to using new pronouns like they, them, it takes a minute for my brain to work. Let me explain using an example. I don't drink coffee. I have never drank coffee in my life, never wanted the taste of it. My husband, on the other hand, drinks coffee every morning. Of course, when he leaves for work, the coffee's too hot. You can't dump it out. You can't empty the grinds into the garbage can, so you just leave it until you get home. Well, on my days off, he would ask me, can you empty the coffee pot? And I'd say, sure. But I could never remember to do it on my own. And one day he got upset and said, how is it that you can't remember to do it? And I said, because I don't drink coffee. Now, unfortunately, he took that as, screw you, it's your mess, you clean it up. But what I meant by that is it's not part of my daily routine. It's not something that I'm involved with. I don't make the coffee. I don't pour a coffee. I don't put creamer in a coffee. I don't drink the coffee. Therefore, even the countertop where the coffee pot is located is not in my morning routine or in any part of my routine. So it took me almost a good month of reminding myself to do this because the man doesn't ask me for much. I mean, let me be clear. He was not ordering me to do anything. He was asking. So it took me a good month to be used to doing this. It had to become part of a habit. So for someone who has no daily contact with anyone in the trans community other than this app, I very rarely get to use the pronouns they, them. And I think I've misgendered people numerous times on this app by mistake. When things have visual cues, it's easier. If a trans person is transitioning to be a woman, well, of course, I'll call her she because she presents that way to me based on my life history. Or in reverse, same thing. I want to be as respectful as possible. I want to use whatever pronouns someone has, and if I screw up, I apologize. So the first time I did it, someone called me out on it. And right away, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. This is why that happened. I apologize, blah, blah, blah. So I got called out by that because I was making excuses. I was told the best thing to do in that situation to recognize your learning is to simply offer an apology and say you'll do better. So I acknowledged that and said, okay, I'll do that. So then earlier today, what did I do? Misgendered somebody else by mistake. And that person called me out on it. And so right away I responded, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I am 100% responsible. I apologize. It won't happen again. So then the next comment was, well, just so you know, when you're apologizing, don't make too big of a deal about it because now you're targeting the person and it's doing more harm. So now I'm like, okay, somebody told me that that's how I was supposed to respond. So now as a cis-het white woman who's trying her best to learn and be a part of the support for all different marginalized communities, I've had now two people from the same community tell me two opposite things. And just to be clear, they did it publicly. They didn't bother to message me or DM me and say, hey, you made a mistake. I want to be a better person for all communities. I'm Wiccan. So in my belief system, we believe everybody is equal of love and acceptance, and whatever you want to be, you should be free to be. And we believe in just everyone's energy being free. Sorry, it was getting dark in here. I understand I come from a place of privilege, and I'm trying to do better. But if all people want to do is focus on the call out and the public shame behind it, and then overcorrect the person, and then call them out and tell them they're transphobic, that's not helpful. Because clearly I care about all these communities. And if that's the way I'm going to get treated publicly, then why would anyone else ever stand up for marginalized communities again? Nobody wants to stand up and defend them because they're afraid of everybody else. You want people to be strong and stand up to narcissism and fascism and all the other isms. Yet a bunch of people would rather focus on public shame than actually educating people. So if you're following any of these creators that are focusing on public shame, or if you're following creators that are doxing other people, or if you're somebody who's all about the drama, or if you're following those creators that feel like vindication is more important than the actual victims, and if you notice those same creators have no actual content, like they just bounce back and forth from drama to drama and have nothing really intelligent to say. Or how about people that make videos apologizing for being racist, but not actually to the person they were being racist against, just to their other followers, their white followers. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Just remember this. If they'll do it to somebody else, they'll do it to you. Just because you're a member of a marginalized community doesn't mean you can't be a narcissist. Because you can have narcissism all the way to the left and all the way to the right. I just don't think those types of creators deserve any attention. Even if you don't like them, don't engage with their videos. Don't do anything. Just let them slowly die away. Because they've been irrelevant before, they'll be irrelevant again. You don't make progress by shaming people. You make progress by educating. And sometimes it's better to do it privately. Allow the person a chance to apologize. Now, I can't call out anybody specifically because I don't have receipts, but I've seen them. And what I can tell you is most of these people don't care about marginalized communities at all. They all have a token black friend or a token indigenous friend or a token trans friend. They use that as an excuse, well, I can't be racist because I have a black friend. But then in the next breath, they dox a black woman. But hey, cruelty and meanness get you the likes and clicks, right? Isn't that what's most important? Because you're not actually here to defend marginalized communities at all. You're here to boost your followers. And in your attempt to do that, you're latching on to big creators because you're following their coattails. How about you just make your own original content and leave everybody else alone? I said what I said.